Today, we're going one-on-one with Dr. Renee Fowler Hornbuckle as she gives an in-depth, step-by-step, retrospective look on recalibrating your life from the inside out. Come along on this journey as Dr. Renee speaks.
Today on Dr. Renee Speaks, we're going to share about something that I think is really lacking. It has become so uncommon, and that is common sense. Okay, have you not noticed that a lot of people don't use just basic common sense anymore? It's almost like, I don't mean this disrespectfully, but you'll understand what I'm saying. It's like the elevator doesn't go all the way to the top with some people, just in terms of how they process and how they think through. I think it's because we live in a society now that's so dependent upon technology that people really don't have critical thinking skills. Something that our generation learned because we were taught and forced to have to really use our brain to really think through things. And so the Bible in Proverbs 4 and 5 says, learn to be wise, he said, and develop good judgment and common sense. Well, it's really something that people are missing, and you can tell that based on the decisions and the choices that people make, that they don't really have the ability, again, to really think through things, to come up with just the right thing to do. I believe that, the enemy has infused our society with wrong thinking and unrighteousness, and so people really aren't bothered by a lot of things that perhaps, we were taught that were right or wrong when we were growing up. And so it just seems like we live in a world that, people don't use good judgment, and they just don't use common sense when they're faced with matters. And so, common sense is not hard or difficult to have. It's simply made up of making good decisions and good choices, wise choices. So if you learn how to make decisions and you know how to make the right choices, choose between good and bad, wrong and right and negative and positive things, it really develops your ability to be able to make the right choice, especially when you're faced with a hard situation. And so all you have to do is just process through like you would when making wise decisions and anticipate the desired outcome, and then just choose your strategy based on the facts. And I'm not talking about alternative facts. I'm talking about the real facts, the real truth. Common sense is just common sense. Mama said it this way. If it feels wrong, it's probably wrong. If it feels right, then move forward with it. And, I didn't understand that at the time. My mama and grandma and them said that, and even my sister said that to me. But you know what? The thing of it is that, sometimes you just know deep down in your knower. And that's just intuition and common sense. You got to learn how to make the right choices on the dime. You got to learn what's right and wrong at the moment. You got to use common sense. Okay, so how do you practice common sense? Well, think your strategy or think your situation all the way through. Just start there. Think about what you're doing. Give some thought and just don't be so off the cuff and haphazard about the things that you do. Think about the things that you do, So think it all the way through. Bounce your idea off of somebody if you're not certain of the outcome, Don't be afraid to reach out to people and say, hey, you know what? I got a situation, or I'm trying to figure out what I need to do. And people may say to you, it's just common sense. It's a matter of common sense. And don't be offended if they say that to you, because a lot of times if you don't have, again, those critical thinking skills to know how to process information, you're not going to use your common sense, okay? But the goal is for you to learn how to move in good judgment and learn how to make a decision that just seems like good old common sense. So Martin Luther King said, nothing pains some people more than having to think. I just want to challenge you as I speak to you right where you are. Learn to be wise, learn to make good judgment, and learn just some good old homegrown common sense. It'll take you a long way. Learn to think through everything in life. Think through where you are. And trust me, your life will be the better for it. That's really what it's all about. At the end of the day, we just want our life to be better. So think about what you do. Again, learn to be wise, learn to make and use good judgment, and just use good old common sense.
To partner and or support Dr. Renee, visit ReneeHornbuckle.com.